Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Away Day Show. The midweek show is once again back. Nathan, thank you for joining me back on the couch again.
All good.
I had to put it on my Instagram, so we got a lot to talk about.
I know.
I was very excited on Sunday morning. I woke up to see some of the results, but what a week we've got. We've got Champions League well and truly back. Yep. Once again, is pre-recorded, so don't have a go at us if we say things that
a bit
do end up turning out being wrong.
I
think we were right last week. We said Real will get through a tough one.
Yeah, that was
the Bayern one
questionable.
The Bayern one we didn't.
Bayern one,
yeah.
It wasn't surprising though. You weren't surprised by it, were you?
A little bit.
Oh, you were a little bit.
Lazio, man, Lazio aren't a great team this season. That's anything I was thinking about. But with the form they're on, it makes sense to me. Yeah. Obviously, PSG did sort of sad, but we'll go through the Champions League a little bit later. We've got Premier League stuff to talk about as well. Yeah. Serie A's heating up a little bit. A lot's going on. Again, the leagues are certain to sort themselves out in terms of the titles, who's winning the title, but the best of the rest, or the relegation scraps are getting quite interesting. So fingers crossed, we've got more content to come, at least more to talk about.
Keep it competitive.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep us interested.
That's all we need.
Yeah. To the last day, then we can blow it out as much as you want on the final day. Let's get kicked off with Serie A this week. We'll start with Serie A. And a team which we sort of touched on, I think 3 weeks ago, where they took it to AC, is Bologna, who I wanted to talk about this week. And in terms of just a generalised chat, they won on the weekend. They currently sit 5th in Serie A. So a team that was 9th and 13th in 2 seasons prior. Had a look into it, but Thiago Motta, we always had a joke about him that time, got sent off against AC, but he's come and just sort of another manager who's changed the whole mindset of Serie A. It's no longer safe possession and high possession and defensively orientated. He's a manager, similar to what Inzaghi's doing. He prioritises front-footed style of football. And looking at his career, Motta's gone and won a lot of trophies. He might not be the superstar in any team he's played in, but he's been around some great managers, some great teams, and he's come and Inzaghi sort of brought it across, but I think he's the first proper manager to bring that sort of Spanish style of football to the Serie A. I don't know how much you've looked into them, but with some of the players they've got, you don't think they should be in 5th place at the moment in the league.
Yeah, no. I haven't watched hardly any of them. It's mostly just been highlights and keeping track of where they are in the league. Yes. I think at the minute they're battling with Atalanta, Roma.
Equal point Atalanta for 4th.
For 4th, which is mental considering where they've been the last couple of years. And it's just another one of these stories where it's just a coach that, again, he was, as you said, never the flashiest player, maybe the first name on the team sheet, but at PSG won, a whole lot of trophies. And he's probably one of the most underrated managers in the world at the minute. Yeah. At a club like Bologna, not really spoken about, but his development of, I think it's Joshua Kirksey. Up front, he's one of the bright sparks to come out of the Serie A this season. And again, I don't know many of their players, haven't watched a lot of them play, but from what we can see they're obviously playing well, and they're not just sort of piling their wins against the lower rank of Serie A. It's very much they're taking it to AC and Inter, and I think they might have got a point at Juve or
they did as well. They went close to Inter as well. I'm pretty sure
they're taking it to the top teams. Yeah. And it's not a false position. They're not there by luck or anything. It's there because they deserve to be. And Motta's doing a hell of a job.
Revolutionised. Yeah. Well, he's now got interest from Barca, AC, and Juventus. Because Allegri, I don't know if you saw in the middle of the week, but there was someone paid in Times Square for an Allegri out screen in Times Square. And I saw this on Twitter somewhere, and I'm like, sorry. Yeah. So it's all starting to boil over at Juventus at the moment. He looks like he'll go in the season if they do well or they don't do well, I think. So it could be an option for Juventus. Barcelona right now, De Zerbi maybe. Maybe Motta goes back there to the club he played at for a few years. Or do they go and get an Arteta? We don't know. But he's in that sort of debate as well. And then you've also got the AC job as well, because Pioli might be linked away as well somewhere else. So he's making a name for himself, and it could be a case of similar to Girona in the fact that their players probably won't be there. It might be Bologna maybe in a Champions League next season, but not with the manager that's got them there. So it'll be interesting to say he's linked away a lot of places. The thing I found out, I've been happy to find out though, third best defence in the league, conceding 23 goals from their 25 games, considering how progressive they play. They're another team that plays out from the back, not afraid to go and just pass in triangles along the back line. And on the weekend, against Lazio, Lazio beat Bayern Munich in the week. and he thought, they'd be up for it. They both played midweek. I think Bologna had a league game, so it was an early kickoff, but both teams come off fatigue. Had a really poor start. Lazio could have been 2 or 3 up in that game. Immobile had a few chances and they scored one early, but then they weren't phased. And it's something I've talked about with Liverpool on the Monday podcast, that no matter who plays or no matter what the game situation is, these good teams are unfazed. And I think that's just what the manager's imparted. It's not carefree football, but you can do it if it's freedom out there to play your style of football. And I think this style's working. You look at Michel at Girona, you look at Xabi Alonso at Leverkusen. These new managers of this free style of football seems to have worked. And I think if they could be another case of if they make a top 4, are we starting to see that old style? I've touched on it a few times. Do you reckon that old style's starting to get faded out?
Yeah,
slowly?
I was about to say, I think we're seeing sort of a new kind of progressive way of football in Serie A, because it's traditionally been known as a very defensive, we'll be nice and compact. We'll make sure the defensive side of our game is very good before, we sort out our forward line. And you have a look at Inter and Bologna. Inter, I think they've only conceded 12 goals in the league, and they're playing this progressive, expansive football. Yeah. Same with Bologna. They're playing expansive. They're playing out from the back again. If you're Thiago Motta, I know the goal they conceded was poor, and you don't want to concede it, but it's one that you kind of just live with, because you're still playing that style of football. And one thing which he'll love is the fact that they concede a goal like that, and they don't go to this long ball. No, let's get it up to Kirksey and these players. They keep playing that same style, and again, I hope this team, this manager, I hope they stay together, because they've got a really nice team. We hope all these teams like Girona and Leverkusen and all these, well, besides Alonso, but
just take him
and Wirtz maybe. But we hope they stay together, because they're hard teams to play against. Inter have. It's not like they've smashed them and flogged them. Juventus, AC, the same thing. So we'll see what happens. They got to obviously make top 4 first. But I think some form of Europe is definitely on the cards.
Well, their coefficient's looking good now, because if Lazio make it through, I think they get the 5th spot.
Yeah.
So Lazio could do them a favour by knocking out.
Isn't it?
Munich. So that'd be interesting, because if 5 spots gets them, obviously once again we keep touching this. Roma's killing at the moment. Daniel De Rossi's got them playing great football. Lazio just beat Bayern, for God's sake, in the Champions League. You've got Bologna doing what they're doing. You'd expect Napoli to, again, another coaching change there as well, which is sort of broken out this morning. So they might have the new manager bounce there as well. So you've got like 6 teams for like 4 spots, if it was like in Serie A. But you just had to touch on Bologna this week. And you're right. So Xerxes, the star boy, the young guy coming out. He's linked to Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal. I think there's a Spanish club, might be a Barcelona from as well, but basically all the big clubs are in for him.
All the big clubs.
I think he's got 8 goals this season, killing it for this side. And because he's played, this is the thing about all these lesser, like the Europa League or top half clubs playing this more progressive style of football. In the past, you're sort of taking a punt that player could work in your system. But nowadays you're saying, like a Florian Wirtz, he could work for Man City, he could work for Liverpool and stuff, because they're playing a similar style of football. Whereas Leverkusen 3 or 4 years ago, you're like, oh, there's this guy going to work in the high pressing, this is going to work in a high possession team. I don't know. But they're playing that now. So I think Xerxes, you're looking at for the 55, 60 million, because he's young, talented, goal scoring, a part of a Champions League side. Who else was standing out? Orsolini's the midfielder, the winger. He's played well as well. And then someone that I was doing a bit of my research, the Scottish midfielder, the captain of the side, Ferguson, I believe, central midfielder. He was important in the last game, but he's someone who's got 8 goals himself or 7 goals himself this season. So there's all these players now.
He's a big fellow, isn't he?
Big guy, central midfield, like sort of that what's a sort of like, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but like a big sort of strong like McTominay type. He's really tall and but not obviously a bit better than McTominay at the moment. Actually, McTominay. By the way, By the way, Antonio compared Bellingham to McTominay yesterday, but that's neither here.
I need to watch that. I
check that one out.
I mean, tell down top.
But they've got these sort of and that's what you're seeing now. All these different players and molds of the big guys in the smaller teams. It's working.
There's just a lot of good coaches out there these days, aren't there? Like not just top clubs. We're seeing, these smaller, not financially big clubs have these managers that just have so much confidence in their own system.
Yeah.
And, they have a set of players that they trust and play to their strengths and just go out and play football. Why not? We're not a team that, just because we're Bologna and we're known as like this mid-table kind of club, we're not going to settle for that. We're going to try and play like an Inter, or look at how progressive an Arsenal are with their young side. So credit to these coaches. I think coaching's getting better and better.
Yeah, it feels like it is, and we're finally seeing some of the former players stand up and play. Yeah, I know. Do some great managerial role. I was questioning them earlier in the few podcasts ago, but
it's just the English ones like Stevie G, Lampard.
They just suck. Yeah,
all the
If you're a former player, go to the Serie A, go to the Bundesliga and get your credentials first.
That's the way it looks at the moment.
That's the best way to go about it.
Some of these managers,
I guess finally on this, just a question for you: do you reckon he goes to one of these bigger clubs? Does he stay in Italy? Does he go abroad? Like, where do you reckon Motta ends up?
I think if AC sack Pioli, I think I can see him going there.
Yeah.
But I can't see like Barca or anything. I think he'll stay. Actually, I think he'll stay. I hope he does.
It'll be good for the Saints. Yeah. And Bologna back in the I can't remember if I've ever seen their Champions League since I've been.
Even Europa League would be incredible.
Yeah. The money's the money, right? You're taking it out of the week.
If they finish fifth, like you said,
they could sneak in.
I don't know how obviously the Champions League's changing. I don't know how the points system kind of
this
works. This
coefficient thing, I know of it. I don't know how it works. I just keep hearing news reports of if you win, if your team wins, your country wins, you'll go further. So
I don't think the Premier League can get it because of Newcastle.
I think unless a Premier League side gets to the semis or one team wins it, something like that.
Something like that. And obviously United, I don't think they can.
United bottom.
I don't think Premier League can get the fifth spot.
So I think Serie A now will take. If Lazio win, might take it off. It's in the I'm new to this.
We'll see what happens.
In the summer, we'll work it out. In the summer, we'll get the numbers out, calculators out, and work it out. Yeah. Staying in Italy real quick, the I guess exciting or the trump card of the weekend was Monza beating AC. So Monza's second year, I believe, now in Serie A. Probably one of the most famous wins for them, 4-2 win over AC. Another case of Juventus and AC. No one wants to take second spot. It feels like Juventus drew once again in the week, and then AC dropped this game again. Though another striker costing their team with a red card.
Yeah,
Jovic turned around,
stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was that was.
It was weird though because they were so much better without him, down to 10 men.
They kicked on to get in though. They broke up.
I mean, Monza's goals were really, really good, weren't they?
Well worked.
Yeah, really well worked, and they deserved to win. AC were poor before the sending off. Obviously, they got back into the game. Credit to them, Pulisic and Giroud.
What a goal from Pulisic, by the way.
Great goal, wasn't it? I mean, Chelsea. Must be
another Chelsea L there.
We got their tears from all the players they sold.
Just drinking it up.
But yeah, credit to Monza. They're mid-tables. Second year in the league. I think it was a bit of a derby, isn't it?
I think it is a derby, but for AC, they
for Monza, it's obviously probably their biggest game
of the
year. Yeah. So credit to them. They scored amazing goals. Maignan could do nothing about any of their goals.
Their finishes, really. It was like even was it the fourth one? Yeah, well, the game was done, but even the finish, like it went in near post. I think the commentator or someone was touching on. I should have got down, but the finish was like blasted low and hard into the corner. And you're right, like even for both sides, the finishes were great. Giroud reaching out to tap home the first for AC. And then, some of the breakaways from Monza was clinical. Pass, score.
AC were a bit all over the place defensively. But I think it was more just Monza were very good on the counter.
I think it has to be credit to Monza in this game. That AC, we said it a few weeks ago, they're one of the more formed teams that could take Juventus' spot, but they've just gone and chucked in a result that just throws AC a bit off. But
I mean, we were talking about AC in the Europa League as a bit of a wild card, a bit of an underdog, because obviously we haven't really mentioned them. We've mentioned obviously Liverpool and Leverkusen, maybe Ajax in that conversation. Yeah. But we said it's consistency. You know, Leao still hasn't scored in 16. I think this is his 16th game. I think without scoring.
Just before December, something like that.
Mental. Yeah. So he's going to need to get going for them to have any chance. And obviously they'll still finish third. They could finish second. Yeah. I don't think they'll drop anywhere below that. I don't think they'll get fourth or anything. But against that battle for second, no one wants it. Inter just
steaming away and sort of walk away with it.
It was we were just waiting for it to happen.
We've
said it for God knows how long, haven't we? Inter now, 9 points
clear, and a game in hand.
Will be 12 points. You can't really see them losing.
It could help them out though, because they could just prioritise Champions League.
Yeah, Juventus it's just a lot of Juventus fans are not happy with the style of football at the minute, and
I guess some of the results
can't really blame them, because that football is good until you start. You have that patch where you don't win games, and fans and even players, I think, turn, because you see Bologna and these teams playing attractive style of football.
Exactly.
And obviously Juventus out of the title race, and
so they've gone on a bit of a stinky run here. So they beat Lecce 3-0. Then they go on and drew to Empoli, obviously because of the red card.
Yeah.
They lost to Inter 1-0, but I think Inter sort of were in control the whole time.
They were 2-goal better
side
in that game.
They lost to Udinese 1-0 at home, and then they drew to Verona 2-2. So it's just like...
Even at the end, Chiesa had a huge chance.
Big chance.
I fully expect him to bury that. It was a good save, but...
But for his talent... It's someone that... as well, he's playing very well still.
Yep.
But someone who maybe isn't speaking... Because Leao's run's been very dry, but I think should be spoken about in that similar sort of conversation where I thought he'd be progressing his career much more this season than what we've seen.
The Euros...
That was him.
No, was it the Euros?
That was like... Chiesa running at defenders, using that, jink inside, curl the effort. Like, you see it at times, but it doesn't feel like the same player. And even I think last season it was all right, but this season it feels like he just isn't that superstar they need. Because I say it every week, without Vlahovic, the goals in this team becomes very dry.
Yeah, midfield
very, very dry.
Don't really score.
No.
Wingers, I mean...
You need Chiesa to come. You need Chiesa to come for the goods. And
I think that injury killed him though, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
What was it? How long was the gap? 6.
He was out for
a couple months.
8. Wasn't it 8? It was wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 6 something months. Yeah. When he needs the stem cells, he probably get him back in a couple of weeks. Get him back with.
But there's just
it was like a 6 month thing.
Big time. Their defense is great. I still think their defense is great, but you can't rely on a defense for the whole season. You need
the modern football is like we said earlier. You need to score goals. Yeah. I can see where the frustration. You're right, where the frustration comes from, because I still love Allegri as a coach. He's solid. He gets results.
He still does.
But when the results don't sort of manifest, and when Inter is so good, it's like a double-edged sword where you're playing some average football and not getting results, plus Inter are playing some spectacular football and stretching the lead to double digits. It can just be like a bit overwhelming on the manager.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see if they can conjure up. I think he wanted to leave anyway, plus they probably want to get him sacked now as well. So another Juventus turnover again. We're doing the same thing we did 2 years ago.
I think they did. I think he's going to have to change the way he plays, otherwise I think he will get sacked in the end.
Yeah.
Just because his style of football is good until they lose, and then it's...
Yeah, and it's not good anymore.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. Unfortunately, the title race is over, but
the Serie A is giving the top 4 race is giving us excitement from the Serie A at least.
Still better than Liga. So that's all that
Still haven't watched the Liga game, so that's all. Football conspiracy. I've never seen PSG play during the day. I haven't seen PSG play. I haven't seen PSG play the last 3 years. I haven't watched them at all. All right, our next game. Speaking about title races, this is a big one for a title race. Bayern lose their 3rd game in a week. They lose to Bochum 3-2.
Yep.
This is the one I sent in my story. I said Sunday morning. I said, Nathan, I'm excited for the podcast because, boy, we can go in on Thomas Tuchel.
30-minute rants incoming. This will be like Flynn's monologue.
Yeah, this is a Thomas Tuchel monologue. Boy, this is strange, because I want to look at it as a 2-game period, because I think Leverkusen game, they were just pathetic. I think we can agree. They were just awful. Yep. Lazio and this game versus Bochum, they weren't great. I'm not saying they were good. I'm not saying they were great. But they just weren't bad either. It was just like they just can't get over the line. They don't have that clinical edge to win a game of football. Like, Harry Kane blasted effort well over the bar.
Yep.
There was chances there to put the ball in from corner. They couldn't put it in. And then what I thought with De Ligt, and you got Kim Min-jae, Upamecano's had a stinker the last 2 games, by the way. You think with that back line, you're not conceding 3 to Bochum. You're not shipping 3 to Leverkusen. It just seems to be, at both ends of the field right now, they're just a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And for Bayern, we don't expect that.
Yeah, I just think it's where they're at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't think it's... They're still trying. We can still see the effort.
Yep.
You know, Kane missed an absolute sitter at the end of that Bochum game. He scores that 99 out of 100. You know, but I don't think it's them not trying or anything. I think it's a lot to do with their system and the way they're playing. I put a lot of it on Tuchel. I am flabbergasted that they are still playing this back three. Honestly, I don't get it. They're getting caught on the counter. So the first goal they conceded against Bochum, you know, Kim Min-jae and De Ligt are caught way too high, and they get, you know, beaten in behind. And you know, Sane's had a stinker the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Musiala's still working his ass off, and he's still scoring goals. You know, that midfield, Kimmich, Goretzka, whoever plays in there, it's quite stale at the minute. And I mean, look, I think the league's done.
It's 8 points.
I think it's done. Yeah, I think with the way Leverkusen are playing, you know, even if Leverkusen drop off, do you have any confidence in Bayern even picking up the results? I just can't see it. I mean, they obviously still can win it because it's them.
It's Bayern. Yeah,
but I mean, it's a very toxic environment at the moment. There, Champions League, they're already down, and they're going to face a hell of an uphill battle too.
Lazio will chuck 11 behind the ball and just try and score.
Obviously, not having the away goals it helps them.
Helps them out a bit, yeah.
But yeah, just get rid of this back three. If they went to a back four with Mazraoui, Kim Min-jae and De Ligt and Guerrero at left back, they started the game. Just double checking. They did start in the 4-2-3-1, but they brought Upamecano on. Yeah.
So I don't think that works because your fullbacks you got there, Mazraoui.
Did someone get injured? Right? Because Upamecano came on in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was it Guerrero? I can't remember. Was it
someone?
But it just
But even then, what? Just like for like replacement or something. Don't go to a back three. That's the reason you're in this mess.
Yeah, it's just
because you went to a back three. So.
And then so you got obviously the Choupo-Moting played down the middle.
How the hell is he still up?
That's the thing. Look at their bench. Upamecano, Sane, Dyer, Zara. Oh, I don't know this guy. Matthias Tell, Ulrich, and then
that's another one that baffles me. How does Tell not start every game?
I'm starting Tell in behind Harry Kane.
Unbelievable against Bochum when he
came on and caused havoc.
He was ridiculous.
Running at defenders.
Did more in 10 minutes than Sane's done in 2 weeks.
I'm not sure. Musiala played on the left and Muller played on the right. And you end up playing that inverted wingers where it's all nice and tight. So I guess hypothetically it works then with this whole 3-back, but why not play the 4-back and just allow the fullbacks to go? Just your defence, as dodgy as it is, just commit numbers forward and try and outscore teams. And Kimmich wants to leave now as well. He wants out. He wants Barcelona.
Obviously, De
Ligt.
He's upset that some games Dyer's
playing.
I think as good as some of these guys have been, like Thomas Muller, maybe a Goretzka. You know, Thomas Muller is probably one of the most underrated players of our generation.
Yeah.
But I think it's time they need to move on from guys like these. If you can't get rid of them, they shouldn't be starting in big games like this. Matthias Tell is there. He is primed and ready to go. He was unreal when he came on against Bochum. He was their point of difference.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't get why Sane's starting. I don't get why they even bought Eric Dyer. You know,
it's just a bit of a there's no clear identity right now.
You always felt with Bayern there was always a plan.
Yeah,
they would always they had guys like Ribery and Robben, and then they'd bring through guys like Koeman and all these guys, and now it's just panic buys and
Harry Kane I thought would suit them to a T. I don't think he obviously he scored a lot of goals. I'm not doubting he's been a bad sign, but if you're trying to go down this path where you got like the Musialas of the world and you're trying to create these younger talents, why not just go and get another younger striker or let Tell play? Yeah. Tell be your striker. And obviously it looks a bit, I guess hindsight obviously looks great, but he obviously has some great talent and it was there to show. If you believe your team's so solid, let the guy start. Let him show what he's all about. Because Harry Kane's been great. 25 goals, ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's been great.
But right now it feels like there's so many different, like you said, there's the Mullers, there's the Kanes of the world. Then you got the Musialas and the Kim Min-jaes and the De Lits who are next gen. It's all sort of all over the place. Yeah. And between, like you said, when they converted to a 3-back and then playing the 4-2-3-1 to start the last 2 games, it just feels like what's your plan? What's your identity? What are you going to stick with? Because right now, talking about stick or twist sort of stuff, they're doing neither. They're just in between. They don't know what they're going to be doing. So I think I'm sort of with you with the fact that the league might be over. But if you're Bayern, you want to salvage something, you got to go and make a statement versus Lazio in the Champions League. Yep. Put 4 or 5 past them. And again, Lazio, solid side, but they're not groundbreaking in the Serie A this year.
You can get at them.
You can definitely get at them. They're vulnerable. We made the combined, making some combined teams. I was thinking about putting some together, and I was thinking about some Lazio games I could put with Bayern, but I thought a Lazio player could get into a Bayern team, yet they're 1-0 up against the Champions League. So this could be make or I think it should have been make or break versus Bochum, but if they lose this Champions League tie, has to be
gone. He'll go within half an hour of the game. Bro,
he'll be getting in the car and he'll be done. I'm saying that the Bayern crew would back in him for some reason. So
I mean, knowing our luck, they'll come back. Leverkusen will lose their next 3 games, and Bayern will.
Oh, please don't. For the sake of excitement.
I mean, it's just it's dark times at Bayern. It's just I don't know where they go.
Yeah, they've
got a lot of deadwood at that club.
It feels like it. Yeah. Well, it's deadwood for Tuchel, but it could be like superstars for other players. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna get rid of him, get rid of him now. Let the new manager work his way in, or
there's been talk of Hansi Flick maybe coming
back. Or do you stick with him and then just allow that new manager to oversee what's happening from the outside? I don't know how you go about it. But it feels like either way you're losing out no matter what happens. I feel like Bayern have just lost out this season. Fair play, as you said, Musiala had a good game though. I was tough on him last week.
Big sort of summer coming up for them, big time.
Very big.
The manager even if they keep the manager, like they need a full revamp of that squad. And build around
where do you start?
And get Tell on the pitch for longer.
Start the guy or bring him on to the 45th minute for it's worth.
I think Bayern fans would love Leroy Sané to not be out of there starting. So
the fact that Choupo-Moting's starting in a game like that says a lot of things about.
That's another guy. He was at Stoke and then
fair play. He's shit out of a career.
I want his agent.
Bayern.
I want his agent. Yeah. His agent is fucking.
He works magic. He's been at PSG. He's been at Bayern. He's where else has he been in his time? But he was at Stoke. That's
he's been how do you go from Stoke to Bayern and
some of the two biggest clubs in the world?
Fair play.
Fair better than the manager there.
Not Bayern Munich quality.
Absolutely. Bayern need to go and you're right. Invest in the future. I think. Yeah. Back those two in and see them out. Now, brings us to our major first segment of the episode. We've done the right back. Oh, what did we do? We did left backs.
We did top 5 keepers.
We did
top 10 right backs.
Top 10 right backs. Yep. So now we're at top 10 centre backs.
Oh God.
Which the thing is, I think all these names deserve to be around there. Just the order.
Yeah.
The order. I think there's
a couple of maybe unlucky ones that would be like 11th, 12th.
Yeah, there's a lot of great centre backs at the moment, especially with the way people play their football. Everyone looks like Hollywood at the moment. So, interesting the order we got them in. I think there'll be some disagreements. I think the names will be the same. Yeah.
Maybe one or two
different ones. That could be,
you never know.
Spanners in the works.
Yeah.
Do you want to get kicked off number 10?
All right. Number 10, I've got Jonathan Tah.
We got him in.
Yeah.
Okay, good for him.
He scored 4 goals this year, and a couple of them have been laid on in the cup and a couple in the league as well. But I think for a team that's conceded about 15 goals in the league, he's the leader of that defence. Again, maybe for the future, you'd probably say Hincapié might be a better buy, might be a better player. Yeah. But right now, Hincapié couldn't have that sort of freedom on the left to maybe push forward a little bit with the ball. Yeah. If he doesn't have a guy like Jonathan Tah right next to him. Big unit. He's a leader from the front, and he's a leader of a defence that has not lost a game.
Yeah.
And considering how open and expansive they play with Frimpong playing as pretty much a right winger these days. He's not a right back. He's literally a right winger. I think having a guy like him in your defence is just a joke. It just allows you to play the type of football that they're playing. And they haven't lost. I can't do a top 10 without having a Leverkusen player, it feels like. Because they still have not lost a game.
Yeah, no, they're 32 now. 32 games undefeated. Yeah. Well, you said my guy. I went Hincapié. Again, probably looks a bit better. I had to drop out one of the defenders I wanted to get in there because of, again, I could not have a Leverkusen player in this list. bit more of the Rolls Royce, I guess, in that back three that he gets all the plaudits. You know, so good with the ball. Actually, all three of them tap so great with the ball at their feet.
Yeah, you could put any of.
Yeah, he's a good target from corners as well. I'll give that to him as well. That's probably where he's good at as well. And again, just feels like whenever they're in like a bit of doubt, they're getting counted. Pretty much one of them going to be there, but Hincapie, I just feel like he's always there. He's always going to be there to break the play. And so they are a back three. None of this back three, but it turns into a five. They basically are a back three. Yeah. So the way they can do their job, and especially against some of the most attacking teams, I think the Bundesliga, I've said it, so open, so end to end. To be one of the most defensively solid teams in the world in the Bundesliga says a lot about this side. So
I had him in this morning.
And
I was like,
he tossed and turned.
I woke and I was like, no, Jonathan Tah.
Which I understand. He's probably more the leader of men, I guess, Jonathan Tah at the back there.
But yeah, good shout.
So one Leverkusen each. Number 9.
Number 9. Maybe a bit controversial. Maybe. I've got Kanate.
We've got Kanate. Oh, yeah. I don't mind it. I don't mind.
Yeah. Ever since he's come, first season, Champions League final, he was our best defender.
Yeah.
Best player in the game, let alone best defender. He was our best player in that final. Last year, he was our best defender. Better than Van Dijk. Even this year, he's been better than Van Dijk in a lot of games. And I just think, in terms of potential, I'm not saying he will be, but I'm saying he has the potential to be the best centre-back in the league. Yeah. I generally do believe that.
Yeah.
I know there's Salibas and Ruben Diaz and all these guys going around, but we've seen it without Van Dijk. He's, one man of the match in big FA Cup games and big games. And I just think, starting centre-back for France, there's a reason Didier Deschamps plays him. And I just think he is so good, and I think he's still a little underrated because of who he's got next to him.
Yeah, he gets overshadowed by the big shadow of Virgil.
But he's been better than Van Dijk in a decent amount of games this season, I think.
He was massive on the weekend as well. I think he was massive in that game. They really important performance. I went Bremer as my number 9.
Yeah, that was who I was tossing and turning about.
Again, I just think Juventus, before this little blip, have been very good. And it's been on the back of defence. We just said it before. They're a very structure and grind out to the results-based team. And Allegri works on results. And this guy has been, I guess, the cornerstone of that now. Last 2 years has been very, very consistent. I don't think you can point to too many bad occasions with Bremer over the last 2 years. Good signing for Juventus. Staple in that back line. Leads the team well from the back. You look at their defensive record. That basically speaks for itself. If you exclude the last 3 or 4 games, it's almost incredible, that back line there. And he's the one that holds it all together. So I went Bremer as my number 9.
He was my special mention.
Special mention.
I had him in originally at 7. I had him at 7.
We had him up the list.
Yeah,
He's got a few more ballers in there. Yeah.
There's just some that I rate so highly, so it's hard. But number 8, I've got Orejo.
You got him in.
I've got him in.
Okay.
I've got him in. I know he's made a lot of mistakes this season, and again, that's probably the one big weakness in his game is on the ball. He does make a lot of mistakes. But again, I think giving him the captain's armband, I don't think has helped him because
that's a good point.
I think it's put a lot of pressure on him to lead a defence where Xavi's playing this high line that doesn't suit any of the back four probably. Yeah. And just a team in general where no one's playing to the level that they were at last year. So I think it's a lot of pressure on him. But he's still, I love him in 1v1 situations. He's always trying to win the ball back first. He always makes the first move. He has a big presence in the air. So I had to get him in because I still think he's one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs in the world.
Yeah.
I think next year, I think he'll be back next year. To that
Once they sort themselves out.
Once they sort themselves out. If they have a good window, if they bring in a manager that just goes back to basics, get him in a back 4, play him to his strengths. You've got a great defender there.
Yeah.
We've spoken Barca, haven't had a good centre-back pairing since, PK Puyol and Mascherano and all these guys. Now they've got a defender that has the potential to be similar.
Long-lasting as well. He's got a lot of years on his legs. So, all right. I'm continuing the Serie A trend with Bastoni as my number 8.
Very nice.
I wanted to get him higher, but there's some big-time names ahead. I couldn't quite put him there. I still reckon, I kept saying, he's been probably one of the best centre-backs in the world this season in terms of Inter. Again, look at these records. These defensive records are almost like you scratch your eye. I think, is that seriously? What is it, like 13, 14 goals? They've got something.
I think it's
stupid.
12 in the league.
Yeah, I think stupid in the league
ridiculous.
like that, like ridiculous. And you said it perfectly to start the episode off. The way they play their football, you think how they only conceded that many little goals, and because it's likes of Bastoni at the back there making these ridiculous challenges. Serbia, their combination they have back there.
I want to try and fit in a Serbia as well.
These guys, they just slide on the radar because they don't do anything special, groundbreaking, or do passing triangles at the back, but they've got the ability to pass the ball out. They make the crunching challenges. They can close spaces really well, and you're part of one of the best teams in the world. So,
that whole Inter team is so underrated.
You can the underrated exile could have been all.
They're not spoken about because a Man City or a Real Madrid, if they match up against them and Man City or Madrid play well, then they'll beat them.
Yeah.
But if Man City or Madrid don't play well, this team can genuinely beat them.
If Man City or Real,
it's one game.
Like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
A final, yeah.
I think they can get the better of them.
100%.
Very good side.
Yeah, very good shout.
Number 7.
I've got Gabriel.
We have a very different list, I think, because I haven't got Gabriel in mind.
Oh, no. I've got him in mind.
No.
Highest scoring centre back in the Prem this season. There's Arsenal fans saying he's been better than Saliba this season, which I think, is a huge credit to him. I think in previous years, there's always been a mistake in him.
Yeah.
There's always been, he'll give the ball away in a stupid area or just make a stupid tackle to give away a penalty. But I think this season, and majority of last season, I think he's been one of the best centre-backs in the league.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a Rolls Royce. Again, when Saliba was out of the side, injured last year, there was a little drop-off. But still, I mean, it's probably not his fault. He's got, a bit of a makeshift defence around him if Saliba's not there. So I think he's a great player. I think, I think Konate's on the same level as him. Yeah. I just think Gabriel has the ability to play back to back to back, like 3 games in a week. Yeah. Konate always has to take a break because of his recent injuries.
Injury problems, yeah. So, that's a good descriptor. I like that. My number 7 is someone who maybe it's a bit of personal preference here. I went David Alaba as my number 7. Yeah, someone that hasn't played too much of injury at the moment, but when he plays that Real Madrid side, it changes the whole way they have to play their football. Yeah. Talk about people who are ball playing. This is a guy that, in my eyes, can still be a fullback or a holding midfielder, but he's someone that's so good at the back for Real. And in their recent great Champions League runs, I feel like he's been a cornerstone of all those runs. Like, so consistent, doesn't put in a bad performance, great free kick taker as well. Yep. He's got all the assets to his game. And talk about Rolls Royces. I think the modern Rolls Royce, everyone talks about Saliba, you can talk about maybe the Van de Vens or the Varanes, but I feel like this generation's Rolls Royce is going to be David Alaba at the end of the day because if he comes back, I don't know if he's going to make it back this season or not, but
I don't think it's an ACL. It looks like he's December.
Long gone.
That's why I didn't put him in. Cause he's
I just absolutely love him.
He's where you've got him like 6,
7 at the moment. Yeah, so I love what he does. Yeah. Could have had him high again if he was playing at the current point in time, but super consistent performer. Yeah, 100%. Always relying on David Alaba.
Very nice. 6. I've got Kim Min-jae.
Yeah, I like Kim Min-jae. Yeah, I like it.
Again, this year at Bayern, obviously we just touched on it. It's been very shaky, but I think he's being played in the wrong way in a back 3. Yeah, that doesn't suit him. That doesn't suit any of them. Yeah, get him in a back 4. Let him lead that defense like he did last year with Napoli. Yeah, which made him one of the best centre backs, the best centre back in Serie A, but one of the best centre backs in the world, and which is why United and all these big clubs were interested in him. So I still think he's an unbelievable centre back, just being sort of played out of position in a way. I think he's getting caught like too high, but it's not his fault because he doesn't work in a back 3.
Doesn't work that system, no. My number 6 is John Stones, which might be a bit low for some people at home, but first some other players. No, John Stones, ridiculous. You could put him in a CDM list for all it's worth. You could put him in a...
That's the thing, he plays a bit everywhere.
Yeah, you could put him as a number 10 in the number 10s list. Feels like he's everywhere in the park. Obviously, incredible. But I think I genuinely, without trying to take the piss, that I kept that in mind though. He's sometimes in midfield, he's sometimes helping out Rodri in there. So that sort of takes away. He's not purely just a defender anymore. But when he does defend, he's quick. He's so good with the ball at his feet. He is the modern day centre back. And if you're Pep's number 1 sort of rotation floater guy, you're serious business. But I think all the ones above him are actual centre backs that play centre back week in, week out. So I kept that in mind in this list.
That's a very good. I didn't have John Stones.
You have John Stones?
I just think he's too injury prone.
That's fair. Yeah, he is.
He's very injury
He misses games here and there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I feel like, I know people are big on John Stones.
I've got him here as like part of like
the
list I had that missed out.
Yeah.
But I just think, we don't get like a consistent enough basis to see. We see it in big games, and he's unbelievable as a centre back.
Back in the season last year, I think he almost made his name.
Pretty much,
They just went on a great run.
I'll put him in my top 10 DMs anyway.
He can go in there anyway. He's my number 6.
Yep, very nice.
Number 5.
Top 5s. Yeah. I've got Bastoni.
You got it out there, I like that. You're good. Good man.
Criminally underrated.
Yeah.
Probably the most underrated centre back in the world, probably.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
Or if not top 3 at least. Obviously part of the Interside that won the league a couple of years ago with Conte. He's just so good at the back, and part of a defence that has only conceded 12 goals in the league. You touched on it earlier. They can, DeMarco and Dumfries can get so high because of that back three. And, you look at Italy and they've had guys like Chiellini and Bonucci. Now they've got one, and he's only 24 years old. So he's not even in his prime yet.
No.
He's probably another 2-3 years away. Yeah. And I hope I hope this team can stay together, because they're building something
special.
It's scary. If Real Madrid and City didn't exist,
they'd be running away with it.
would be rated so much more higher than they are.
They'd be running away with it, I feel like. Well, you said my number 5. I went Kim Min-jae, number 5. Nice. Got to talk about that. I think that Napoli thing has to be talked about more as well, what he did with that side there. He held that team together, because what they have now is, you can see the hole that Kim Min-jae had there, trading the ball, really good in that system. And they worked really well as a back four in that system there. And obviously, as you said, recently it hasn't looked as great at Bayern, but even with Bayern, whenever he doesn't play, you feel that missing hole in that team. Yep. He's just a big presence on the field. It feels like the brick wall. He can't really go past this guy, and he's got that ability to make the challenge where he needs to if he gets caught out of place. And I can't see any bad performance from Kim Min-jae when he goes out there and plays.
Loves the last-ditch tackle.
Loves it. Little wrap around and take that ball back. So he's my number 5.
Very nice. Number 4, I've got Antonio Rudiger.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So
I think this season, with Alaba missing a large chunk, with Militao he got injured in the first game.
All the way through.
I think he's had to have guys like Nacho Fernandez and Vazquez play at right back, and he's Camavinga at left back again. These are guys that can play those positions, but especially Camavinga, it's not their natural position. No. And he's had to hold up the fort, and it's they've been doing fine. But since his injury, since his hammy, they've been a little and it's understandable, because they don't have any other centre backs. But again, it just shows how important he was to that team. All the talk was about Bellingham and Modric still going, and Kroos and Rodrigo and all these guys. But if they didn't have Rudiger at the back this season, none of it would be possible. And even in previous years, ever since Tuchel went to Chelsea and won the Champions League with him, he's just been a different animal.
He's been incredible.
Yeah, he's been incredible. So I think he's been one of the best centre-backs in the league, easily, and hopefully he's not out for too much longer.
Yeah, I love watching him play. I'm number 4, Saliba.
Yeah.
I'm number 4, because I've got really a little bit higher.
Someone a little bit higher.
Yes. Saliba, incredible. People regard him maybe as the best centre back in the Premier League. I still think he can definitely close that gap down, but I think there's still more established gentlemen above him. Yeah. But he's super consistent. A threat from the corner. Like him and Gabriel always a threat from the corner, I feel like. And he's been pivotal to this Arsenal system. I think you saw last season, he falls out, they fall out. It basically is what it feels like. Because that back four, as much as it looks good on paper when they're all there, when he goes missing, it looks a bit like, is this really a title contending defence? Is this really going to be good enough? So in that regard, I feel like that's why it's so important. I still think, though, for the period of time and winning trophies, hasn't got that on the other guys. I've got ahead of him, so that's why he's number 4 for me.
Yep, he's my number 3.
Yep.
Again, I put him. I didn't base it on like the team he plays for and the trophies and stuff. I base it on the fact that, and it's not his fault because he had the injury last season when Arsenal were in the run-in, but we haven't seen him in obviously he was brilliant in Ligue 1, but we haven't seen him in the most pressure games in the Premier League yet. Yeah. In the last sort of 10, 12 games of the Premier League. Obviously Arsenal haven't got there, but we haven't seen him in a semi-final of a Champions League. Yeah. We haven't seen him yet. So he's still, again, he's 22, he's still got loads of time for that. But the two I have ahead of him have just shown it in big games, shown it for a number of years, and maybe Saliba's better than, there's an argument he's better than both of them right now, are the ones that I've got.
Exactly, yeah.
But, he's still, he's only 22. He's been in the league for a year and a half. To be considered
one of the best
in the world is a credit to him.
Says a lot to him, yeah. I went the other way around. I went Rudiger, 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Bit of a shit ass. I like the way he goes about it. The running and stuff. I love it.
Emi Martinez.
Yeah, a bit of that. Yeah. Takes him, and he's just he's a cool, calm, collected defender.
Yep. Like
I said, since that Champions League final, really, I think he'd probably be in the top 3 since that Champions League final in terms of, that's why I've got him there, because these big 3 I've got up there, they've all been so, now for 4 or 5 years, been great. National teams, club teams, European tournaments, like it just feels like these guys have got the pack, they've got the lot. So, would love to see him in the Premier League a little bit longer, and I think Chelsea fans would love to see him there a little bit longer. Yeah. But boy's been great for Real Madrid, and you said it perfectly. The fact he's had to play with a bit of a makeshift defence at times, and the gap that he's leaving now. Sometimes I think the best way judge a player is when they're missing, what happens to that team. Yeah. And you're totally right. They've struggled a little bit Real without him, and you play for Real Madrid. It says a lot about you and your play. So Rudiger's my number 3.
Yeah. 2, Ruben Diaz.
He's done it. He's done. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 2, Ruben Diaz. Unbelievable for City. I had Saliba in at 2, and I was sort of chopping and changing them because I think there's games where Diaz doesn't need to play, and there's not really a drop off because of how good they are. And then when Saliba doesn't play for Arsenal, it's not really a title contending back 4. But again, ever since he's come to the league, he's been on par with, I think, Virgil van Dijk as the best centre back in the league, one of the best centre backs in the world. Pep Guardiola, every big game he plays, we talk about, as I just said, how he might miss a couple of games, but every big game he plays, and he starts and he plays well. He's always 7, 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And, he's not even that old. He's like 26, 27. Yeah. So he's still got another 5, 6 years at the very, very top.
Yeah. So I'm agreeance. Diaz too. It's more of just a preference thing, I think. Who do you prefer? I just prefer Van Dijk. I just feel like Van Dijk's best is better than anyone.
Yeah.
That's just a simple way I think I can put it. Because they're both... Obviously, Van Dijk's had his little drop-off over a period. I think Diaz's drop-off isn't as probably obvious, but when you're surrounded by, like, the human calculator at left-back and, and you got John Stones, you got Rodri, and you've got Cancelo at times, you got Walker.
Yeah.
When you drop off, it doesn't really look that bad, does it, realistically?
Yeah.
And both these guys, I don't think they've really got big mistakes in their game. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Van Dijk's recent mistake, but that's once in a blue. I don't think they both have mistakes in their game. They're both consistent performers.
They are human.
At the end of the day, exactly. And they're part of the 2 best. Like, when we look back at this sort of last 6 years, these 2 teams have been led by these sort of 2 players, Van Dijk, Diaz. And it's one of the best sort of 1-2s we've seen since Arsenal United or Chelsea United in those early 2000 eras. So a bit of like when maybe in 5 or 6 years time we'll look back and say, geez, these guys were amazing, and I just prefer Van Dijk out of them because I just think it's that thing where like you talk about like those tackles where like he might not be anywhere near the play, but he'll just find a way to slide in, make the big challenge. Clearances off the, like even on the weekend, a few balls Brentford getting to the box, Van Dijk heads the ball well away.
He's not afraid to just clear it and get it out like we saw for the first goal. Just get that thing out.
Get the hell out of it.
Let's get it to Jota and Nunes because we know how good they are. But obviously Van Dijk's my number 1. Still is the best centre back in the world in my opinion. I think we can. Obviously, I am very harsh on him at times because if he played like Diaz in terms of how aggressive he was, and like but like that's just how he plays, and he's incredible at it. And at ball at feet, he loves a diag. He loves those balls to solo in behind. 1v1, he's brilliant. He's commanding. He's got that aura about him. I can't remember forwards being one-on-one with Van Dijk and literally stopping to wait for other forwards to come. And we've seen that with Martinez in the Champions League a couple of years ago. I mean, he's just a great centre-back, and, he's getting on a bit now, but he's not one of those players that necessarily relies on his pace.
No.
It's, again, his positioning and the way Liverpool play as a team. So, still the best centre-back in the world for me.
one of the best signings, and everyone was slandering the price tag, but that's probably one of the best buys that Liverpool have gotten.
I think I was like 75 mil.
For a centre back Southampton.
I know he's good.
Yeah. It's turned out to be an absolute steal in the end.
Yeah.
So just going over our list one more time, I'll go over mine. I went Hincapié, Bremer, Bastoni, Alaba, Stones, Kim Min-jae, William Saliba, Antonio Rudiger, Ruben Dias, and Virgil van Disney.
Good list. I've got Jonathan Tah at 10, Konate at 9, Arejo at 8, Gabriel at 7, Kim Min-jae at 6, Bastoni at 5, Rudiger at 4, Saliba at 3, Diaz 2, and Van Dijk at number 1.
Very solid top 10 list.
I reckon your list is better than mine, I'd say. I reckon.
So
I think you got Bremer.
I had a Bremer in there.
I was going to put probably Liverpool bias.
I had Alaba in there, and I had Stones.
Alaba and Stones. I had Gabriel, Konate, and Tah. I had Arejo as well.
Who did I have missing? Oh, but I had Hincapié. But I think we can agree.
Yeah.
It was rotation. It was whoever you wanted to pick.
Yeah.
And we had to talk about 2 players for the price of 1, basically. So we did in the end.
Much, yeah.
All right, so we'll just jump quickly. We'll touch a little bit on the Bundesliga once again. We'll expand of what we said there. Top 4 races heating up a little bit in the fact that Dortmund aren't doing their job and Leipzig are at the moment.
Yeah.
I said a few times Leipzig are the most exciting package in the league, it feels like. Xavi Simons again, boy, he's going to be worth a lot of money. Like a lot of money.
Like Dele Alli when he was...
I don't know if you've seen the volley that he's... Wow. It
was similar to the other volley he scored, the left...
Not too long ago. When was that go?
Was that against Dortmund?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago as well.
It wasn't too long ago.
And same thing, just took it on first time, bang, corner, back inside the net.
He's on loan at obviously he's on loan.
On loan there, yeah.
PSG. I mean, if PSG have to play him next year, especially with Mbappe, who's gonna leave.
Go. He might be the face of the team, right?
The way he's playing right now, he'd be the face of a lot of teams. Yeah,
he's been incredible. Yeah. You got Benjamin Sesko coming off the bench. He's very good up top as well. And then Lewis Openda is someone who's gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Club Brugge, former Club Brugge player. Yeah. Always just felt like I only knew him because of his team of the season cards on FIFA.
Just that 99.
Yeah, the 99 pace. I just always get a hold of him. But no, he's been very, very good for Leipzig this season. I think the 18 goals now in the league. That Sesko combination with Openda is great. Yep. And Simon's in there as well. There's so much excitement with this team.
Yeah, there always has been, hasn't there?
Every time you watch a team, it's like, yep, there's just players that come. It's a factory of just incredible players. Dani Olmo as well, when you think of this sort of side. And, touching that Champions League game, they were bloody good against Real Madrid as well. Good. So 2 games in the space of 4 days where they've just dominated. Like this game against Gladbach. I know Gladbach are sort of lower down the table, but this is one of those just great examples of controlling a game. Just dominant from minute 1 to minute 90, and could have been 3 or 4 in this game in terms of the way they dominated. Yeah. Then you've got Dortmund on the other hand, who still haven't been beaten in 2024, I believe, but another draw to sort of a middle table side in Wolfsburg there. And that's 1 point gap now. I just want to hear your thoughts because in my mind, Leipzig play the better football and are playing the better football. Obviously, Dortmund probably have the bigger names and more established the know-how. How does this all work out? Because 1 point gap, they've got to play each other with the 4th last game of the season. Does it come down to that game?
Probably, yeah. I'd say. I think both teams will sort of drop points here and there just because it's the nature of the 2 teams. Leipzig are very young, and Dortmund, that's just kind of been their season. They've got just kind of some average players in there. But I would put my money on Leipzig getting that position, to be honest. I back them in. I think they're a very good team. I think they're one of those teams where if you're like a team in form, doesn't matter sort of how good Leipzig are going, you don't want to play them because these young guys in Openda and Simmons and Dani Olmo, who is a good player, probably could add more goals to his game. But Sesko, they've got some really good players there that can hurt you at any moment. With Dortmund, it's a bit more. You kind of know what you expect from these kind of players like Füllkrug and Sancho and
Marco Reus.
These kind of players, Julian Brandt as well. So I'd put my money on Leipzig. I think they're probably a better kind of team, I'd say in a way.
I think they're rolling.
I think just know-how kind of gets Dortmund over the line a little bit and experience. But again, another good season for Leipzig. Considering some of the players they've lost in the past, and
they just continue to be around the place.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
It's a bit of a Brighton of the Premier League, isn't it?
And like a couple of their managers in recent years have, Nagelsmann's left, and they've obviously sacked a couple of managers. So, credit to them. That I like watching them play. When you got a guy like Xavi Simons, it's easy to
the goals and the assists he can put together. Just if you're Leipzig fans, you want to enjoy these moments for as long as possible. Because
do you think they do you think they have a chance of signing him?
I have no chance. Like he obviously loves the team, but it's one of those things. It was like Ronaldo with United for Real. It was like a big club. Leipzig are a decent club as well. But when you've got that promise to you, like it's like you've got it promises. The world's at your feet, sort of thing. I wish the world was like that, where these sort of players would hang around, but it just isn't going to be like that.
Yeah, he should be one of the first names on the PSG team.
I feel like he'd walk into that team. Yeah. It could be in a mould of. I don't keep saying this, I guess, for every single player, but it could be in the mould of Bellingham as well. If you have to not play a striker, play him as just like a false nine. Because the guy's got a rocket in that right and left foot.
You can play on the wing. You can play as that false nine, attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
And you don't see many players like him anymore, because a lot of coaching these days is very much like 1-2 touch, get the ball, move it on. But he's a player that loves to dribble and
take it and go.
Yeah, just have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just show his skill, and it's good, because some of the goals he's scoring is literally Dele Alli-esque.
How does that feel? I praise not Dele Alli though.
I praise not Dele Alli, but
it's just
it doesn't. He plays with so much confidence, and he's a handful.
He hasn't really gone through a rough spell yet as well. He seems to always just get an important goal here and there. These young players, they can go for a few good games and have a few sort of teeter off, but he just seems to always be around the place. So a good season, I guess. Not even a good run, a good season for him.
Good battle for
Champions League spots, yeah. Because I don't think the Bundesliga will get that extra spot. I think we can always rule that out.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, because that'll be a massive loss for Dortmund. Double down because of how bad Bayern have been. And if they miss out on Champions League, that's a double kick in the face.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to. Yeah, you wouldn't. I think a lot of pressure on Dortmund's manager to get them top 4. I think if they don't get top 4, I think
that's almost sackable as well.
Again, they never target the high quality players.
No.
But do you still target some of the younger players that might be on the fringes of a first team?
Yeah,
you probably still do, because of the history that they have of.
But players want to go if they're not going to be in Champions. Exactly, the Champions League draw is a real thing. It's the players want to play Champions League football, and on occasion right now a little bit teetering on the edge.
50 at the minute. Yeah. Is it equal on?
They're 1 point ahead now.
Okay, they're 1 point ahead.
It's just
Where's that? Is that at Dortmund or is that at Leipzig? Do you know?
Great question.
I think I think if it's at Dortmund, I think obviously back them. But I think if it's at Leipzig, I think
difference. That Leipzig, it's a tough place to go. That crowd.
Yeah, it's just a tough place to play.
At Leipzig,
even Bayern at their best struggled.
Yeah,
with Robin and all them.
Yeah, Leipzig's
just a pain, winners, which got them over the line.
A pain place to go. Yeah, it's at home for Leipzig, so it's gonna be an interesting one. That one there.
I'll back them.
I'm back in Leipzig. I want to see Leipzig.
We'll back them. Come on,
do their thing. A pender in the Champions League. Come on. Now, just gonna go to La Liga quickly for 2 things to touch on. I don't want to keep dragging on about Barcelona each week, but they scraped over the line again. But again, against another relegation candidate, they've gone and got 10 points from 12 games, but we cannot pinpoint one convincing performance at all these games.
No. It's very shaky.
It's a
16-year-old just carrying them at the end of the day.
Even like Lewandowski missed the first penalty, an awful penalty, by the way. Yep. But then because he does his stupid stutter run up, like every keeper's in a fall for, he gets to retake, they score the goal. But they weren't even in that. I think Celta could have nicked a point or even 3 points in this game.
They probably deserved something from the game.
Especially where they went out there. I think if Aspas wasn't so unselfish, he had a few chances where he could have shot himself. I just think, it's an opportunity missed for them, because they're in a relegation battle. They're sitting just outside the drop zone at the moment.
That's surprising, because I don't even think they're that bad of a team.
The players aren't too bad. They've got a few good players there.
Maybe just mistakes and I don't know. I don't even think they're that bad of a team. So they have some decent players.
And with Rafa in charge as well, you'd think they'd be well and truly clear, because he's a great manager.
Even just mid-table. But just Barca. I mean, if it wasn't for a bit of Lewandowski, his first goal was unbelievable.
One touch goal.
But again, it's over relying on a kid
to make it all happen.
On a kid.
Yeah, it's
so.
And you touched on Araujo as well. He went down injured and went off at half time. So if he's not playing that Champions League game, that's a worry.
Some good Champions League games this week. But Barca, nothing's convincing about them at the moment, no matter what they do. They can win 3-0 and it would still look unconvincing. So
They drew to Granada, second bottom. They've just beaten Celta, who's fourth bottom, and they beat Almeria 2-1, was it, I think? Or 3? It was a late game there as well.
Yeah, that was,
So they've gone and played 3 of the bottom 4 and just scraped a win or a draw every single.
That's where they are at the moment.
That's
isn't it,
bad.
I know.
That is very bad.
It's where they are
And
at the moment.
They've budgeted, I read it, they budgeted to make the quarters of the Champions League. So this whole, like, the crisis they are in financially, if they don't get past Napoli here, this could all come crashing down.
Do you think they will?
I think Napoli might get them. Napoli
Especially
with a new
with
manager.
Yeah.
Araujo out.
New manager. Yeah.
I can't see this team being... They need to start Gundogan. I give up on Christensen playing holding midfield.
Yeah.
Going on a midfield, holding midfield is better than any holding mid, other than for like the Rodgers and the Rices.
He's been their best midfielder. He's probably been their best player.
And he's on the bench. And he's like, come on, Javi. Like,
I don't know if he's saving him for the Champions League game, but even then, I mean...
It's pathetic, I think.
Yeah. They've just been... I don't know what has been... There's a whole lot of stuff going on at Barca that we don't know, surely. Because...
That defence is just...
Yeah.
It's a shadow of itself.
Kunde's making a couple of mistakes every game, it feels like. Obviously, Araujo hasn't been great.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just their entire team. You can't rely on Araujo and these younger players. You know, again, Gundogan and Lewandowski, more so Gundogan's been brilliant. Lewandowski's had some important goals, but again, it's just kind of average, isn't it? It's just so average.
Not the same Barca we're come to used to.
It's not.
It's
very average.
Hit and miss. But I guess with all these wins, they are still technically they're 8 points off Real because Real dropped points. Girona lost last night.
That's wild, isn't it? They're only
8 points off Real and they're 2 points off Girona now.
We bag them every week.
Yeah, they're still technically in the title race, but
it's a very...
But you ask any Barcelona fan, they'll be saying, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
The fact you're allowing a 97th minute penalty to win against fourth bottom says a lot.
Even Granada conceding, what,
3
Was it 3 or 4?
3 or 4 to Granada,
yeah.
All over the place.
Making Palestri look like a bloody Messi region. Like,
We'll take him. Get him back. Get him back.
I mean, there's a lot of big clubs across sort of all the leagues that, like, obviously Liverpool with their new manager and stuff.
Yeah.
We got, Bayern, what's going to happen with them?
Yeah.
Now Barca.
Yeah.
You know, so
Juventus.
Yeah, Juventus.
It's all going to be
PSG with Mbappe. How are they going to spend the money? Like, it's going to be a good...
We're in store for a great summer.
Which is why you should subscribe.
Get us to 400. That's a great thing. We'll clip that up and put that on the socials this week. I didn't have it in the notes, but yeah, also Girona lost to Athletic Club as well, 4-3 or 3-2 something. So that was another great game as well. But then I just want to quickly touch on the relegation battle because I think it's basically now set in stone that Almeria and Granada will both go down. By the way, has there ever been a team that's gone down without a win?
I don't think so.
Because Almeria now still haven't won a game. 8 draws, and that's all they've got. This is like all time low.
We should do like a forfeit or something if they don't win a game. I'll do a forfeit.
I'll dye my hair in Almeria colours.
I will come in with a full Man United kit, boots and everything.
Shin pads.
If Almeria do not win a game.
We could do that. I could come with Liverpool kit as well. That would be hilarious. And I'll dye my hair Almeria. I'll go like red, white on my head.
There we go.
Because
Almeria don't win a game.
I tell you what, they've taken it to Barca, taken it to Real, they've taken it to Girona, and
that's mental.
This game was a classic of like two teams that just are going down. Like both teams could have won this 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, 3-0, but no one wants to take the chances, and it ends in a 1-0 draw.
Sitting through the 3-minute highlights was just painful in itself.
I went and watched the mini match for some reason. That was the longest 24 minutes of my life.
I respect that from you. That is, I could never.
That's why you should subscribe. I spent 24 minutes watching a rubbish game just to make sure I knew what was going on in the relegation battle. But yeah, they're both going down. Granada, I've got 3 draws in a row, so great turn of form for them. But they're on 14 points. They're 6 points from safety, maybe, but
8,
no.
Almeria?
And Almeria 8, so they're now 12 points. So they're well and truly gone. But I think even Granada, I don't think they can get stuck because Celta Vigo is the 6 points ahead, and I think they're a good enough team to escape the drop.
They'll pick up points, I think.
Yeah. So we can agree those two are going down. And
do you know how many games are left in La Liga?
I think they're match week 26 now. I think.
God, it's getting close.
It's all coming.
We need it. We need a win.
Let's look at Almeria's fixtures.
Well, how many like?
Gee, it's gonna be a tight one. It's gonna be very tight.
It's gonna be a very tight one.
They have got Atletico Madrid.
There's 38 match weeks. Because
See, 12
like
games.
same as
So they're going to be Atletico. They might beat Celta
is that at home?
away. No, they
Oh.
probably won't. They've got
I got
Sevilla at home.
I gotta get my boots cleaned and shin pads on. Then I guess I don't think they win.
Getafe at home, maybe Vallecano away. They got Barcelona again. Yeah, no. Oh, maybe Mallorca.
Watch them beat Barca.
Yeah, wait, Barca 4-0.
Or Barca win by a late pen or something. Yeah.
Lewandowski will stutter step again. I'm not sure about the whole stutter step thing. I'm not a fan.
I mean, it's worked for him for years, though, hasn't it? So
because it hurt the Europa League, like the greatest Europa League fixture of all time when we played Barca. Early in that game, there was Bruno pulled him out and they had a pen, and David had never saved pens, but he got his hand to Lewandowski's pen, but because he stuttered, he was already half to the floor by the time he took the pen, so it went in. But I was like, oh my God, David, no, didn't have to save. All right, to finish us off, I was really pulling on strings this week. I haven't got many great fixtures, but AC Milan are hosting Atalanta in the league.
Yeah, we've really gone to the bottom of the
barrel here.
But
I know.
I mean,
they're two good teams.
You don't
but
see this content anywhere else.
No,
you don't see
this is why
pitch side and all that.
No, they don't know football about Atalanta and AC Milan. It's bottom of the barrel though because I think it's really one-sided. But I tried my best to try and make it as even as I could.
Yep.
It'll be a good game because AC are in a bit of a trough, and
big game
Atalanta I wanted to push in.
The top 4, yeah.
And with now that Bologna's on their backside, they can't be dropping points now.
With
Roma's coming with De Rossi, and Lazio might turn things around. So
Napoli might.
New manager bounce, it's a lot going on. So this game means a lot in terms of its significance in the league. To try and make a combine of 11 though is a bit...
You don't know.
Try our best. I'll go through my 11 first and you go through yours.
Yeah, you go first.
I'm with a 4-2-1-3. So I could have gone 3 back, but I ended up just going this formation.
Yep.
Obviously, Maignan picks himself in goal. Teo Hernandez picks himself at left back. Also, Calabria at right back. I went Kier and Scalvini at centre back.
Oh, okay.
He's been one of the more consistent performers for Atalanta, so I chucked him in there. There's a few options you could have gone with Atalanta at the back, but Kier as well, a bit hit and miss, but again, someone who's played a lot this season and been more consistent, so I'm going with him at the back. I went Benacer, Koop Miners, and I can't pronounce this guy's name, Charles de Ketelaere at the number 10 spot.
Yep.
And then went a full AC front 3 of Rafael Leao. I went Giroud up top as a clinical finish of this side, and then Pulisic after his... Maybe this is a bit of recency bias because he put in a bang on the weekend. I went Pulisic from the right.
Very nice.
So I got 3 Atalanta players in this 11.
Yeah, nice. I just went with 4-3-3.
Yeah.
So Maignan in goal.
Yeah.
Calabria. I've got Kolasinac at centre back for
He's been very good this season for them.
Yeah, at centre back as well. I was going to go with Tomori, but he's been injured.
He's been out for a bit. Yeah.
Obviously, Teo Hernandez at left back. I've gone with a midfield 3 of Loftus-Cheek, Koop Miners, and De Roon.
Yeah, okay, De Roon as well. Yeah.
I've got De Ketelaere, Giroud, and Leao.
Oh, so you use him on the left rather than I use him in behind. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I like you can get more players in. I was close getting De Roon in there, but again, I wanted to get Benacer in there. I think he's been the games watching the Champions League especially.
From what I've seen as well, he's been very good. Yeah.
I only watched AC in full games for the Champions League, and that's when I've seen him done some pretty good work. So
that's a good
solid teams. Yeah. This one isn't going to be like the other ones. I think this is a Europa League final. I think maybe at maximum.
Yeah, getting beat by a Liverpool or Leverkusen.
Yeah, knocked out. So maybe a semi in the Europa League.
I'd be like Inter in a way.
But in the small league, not the big, not the big guns.
It's winning the Conference League though, I reckon.
Oh, I think it might sweep the Aston Villa. Nah, I think it's got Aston Villa.
Yeah, Villa have dropped off a little bit
as well. Yeah. Interesting. Just to finish this up. Just to wrap up the Champions League from last week, City won easily. We all thought that was going to happen. Yeah. PSG dealt with Sociedad.
Sociedad was still a good side.
They battled well, but when you got Mbappe...
Yeah, that's just the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, and this Barcola kid's doing some numbers. He's scoring some goals. Lazio obviously touched on how they beat on Bayern, which would be interesting. That second leg, we cannot wait for that second leg. I'm very excited for that one there. Yeah. And obviously, the dodgy one came, Real Madrid beat Leipzig. That offside was never... Real with the VAR is one of the most dynamic duos in the world.
I mean, I can't explain it.
To me, it makes no sense.
I don't know what to say about it. It's
how
ridiculous.
Can you...
It's because the guys behind the keeper...
Yeah, but he didn't touch Lunin.
That's what I mean. And he's not blocking his view of the ball.
No.
So...
If he'd pushed him or if he'd maybe... nicked the ball, but if he'd gotten the line of the ball as the ball went in, if he ducked out of the way, maybe then...
If he was in front of the keeper...
obviously.
It's crap because he wouldn't have saved it anyway.
Yeah. But I think...
It's... You know what I mean?
Florentino Perez, mate.
Was there a statement or anything released on that?
It's Real Madrid. It gets pushed under the carpet
I'm
very
just
quickly.
confused because they robbed Madrid of a pound in the Atletico game.
Yeah, and then they got in Rosa first. Florentino said, "I paid you to do this job for me."
I have no idea how that wasn't given. I don't know what to say. Like, generally, it's stupid, isn't it?
It's the most classic Carlo Ancelotti. They didn't play well. Brahim Diaz creates one of the most individual goals of all time. Bangs it in, back of the net. Hits a Bellingham celebration. It's just like, this is just Real Madrid for you, though. They don't play well. Probably deserve to lose. They win.
Maybe, draw. Yeah, Leipzig deserve something for sure.
They were played very well in this game. I don't think Real were ready for it.
If that goal counts, which it should have, it's a completely different game.
Different game. Because Real, like we said when we previewed last week, we're like, with the players like Kroos and players like Modric and these experienced heads, they're going to get a goal. They'll find a way. What happened? It's the exact same thing happened. They found a way.
Individual brilliance.
Individual brilliance for Brahim Diaz. They just get through.
Do you give Leipzig any chance? Because of
they got to score first.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So, the red card came in the league. So in the league, they don't have any centre backs. I think.
I think
Nacho got red card in the league, so Nacho can play in the Champions League. But again, this back four is so makeshift.
It's just that midfield, isn't it?
It's just so good, good. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be the most interesting.
Even Tchouaméni can do a job at centre back. He was decent. I know they drew, but he was still decent.
It's just I don't know.
If how you score first,
it's game set match. Probably. Ties over.
I think Openda's going to be big in this game. I think if he can
get in behind
with his pace, I think he's if he plays well, they'd have a chance at least.
Because they've got the strikers on the forward players to score the goals. It's just that midfield to get through that Real Madrid midfield.
Can they stop Vinicius as well?
It's going to be.
You would expect Madrid to probably score a couple of goals anyway.
Maybe a grind out a 2-0 result and get a line 3-0.
I mean, they should be going into this leg 1-1. I reckon. At least
with all
maybe
play
winning.
Interesting.
Again, VAR and
Real Madrid and VAR.
As long as Real Madrid get through, it doesn't matter.
I paid the refs off for my prediction. I said,
that is, even as a Madrid fan, you'll be like, okay,
that's dodgy.
That's a little bit weird.
I think someone came out from the team and said it. They didn't know why it wasn't given a goal. That's when it's beyond a joke.
I mean, the only player that appealed was the keeper, Lunin, and it was because he thought the guy who headed it was offside. Yeah. But even Rodrigo, Rodrigo was like, oh, crap, that's a goal.
Exactly.
It's just a bit.
Lunin had one of the best games of. That was
I thought he was just kind of.
I didn't think much of him.
Keeper. Yeah. But he's actually proved.
Bro was Courtois in disguise.
Yeah, literally, he's been very good. I wouldn't be surprised if kind of like a kind of top 6 battling kind of club would maybe look at a player like that. Unless
he wants to just wait till Courtois is done. But Courtois I think will be there for ages.
Yeah, you would think.
The keepers and stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
It's the history of Madrid.
It's the history of Madrid. They find a way.
Always find a way.
That eyebrow gets raised, and then it's game set match for any team that wants to come play. So 2 interesting legs. You've obviously got Real and Lazio in those games the next time around. Yep. Obviously, by the time this one gets released, we'll know the
other one,
the results of the other games.
Yeah. There's a couple of good games. The Porto Arsenal one I'm looking forward to, just because I think if Arsenal don't play well and Porto is still a decent side.
Yeah. Inter Atletico is for me the pick of all the games.
Yeah, that's going to be
I can't wait for that one.
Wouldn't surprise me if there were a couple of fights in that game.
And a couple of horrendous challenges.
Going off, but that's going to be a belter of a game. PSV Dortmund's a bit of a fun one.
Yeah, again, one where whoever gets through is battling for their team, right?
Yeah.
And PSV play some good football, so they could catch Dortmund.
All 4 games are actually good. Napoli, Barca, a lot on that.
We previewed that one last week.
Much better than last week's games.
Yeah, a lot of
a bit dead, wasn't it? Besides Bayern.
Yeah, a lot of one-way traffic in those ones. Yeah. I can't wait for the quarters. Quarters going to be very good.
I feel like the quarters is now where it starts.
Where it starts. Yeah. Exciting times.
Very.
Well, I was going to get to other stuff, but we've basically done our time again this week. We've smashed it through. But I was going to get your thoughts quickly before we end up. Liverpool and Arsenal, big wins in the weekend. Yep. Who's in position 1A out of those 2 teams? Are you backing your boys in, or you still think Arsenal have got what it takes?
I'm going to back Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because, we're just playing unreal at the minute, but I think the injuries really do not help at all.
That shot one looked bad.
Yeah, I think he's out for about 2 months. I think Jones is out for about 2 weeks. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but again, these injuries keep piling up. I think now for Liverpool, it becomes just about survival in a way.
Just get through.
Just get to the city, get past Luton with the squad we have with no injuries. Then once you get past the cup final, get to the international friendly, the international break with all them friendlies or whatever. And then hopefully you get a couple of players back like Trent and Szoboszlai hopefully will come back in the next week or so. So I'll still back Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think with the way Arsenal have been playing like 11 goals in 2 games.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And in terms of form, you probably have Arsenal ahead. But, league table doesn't lie.
No.
Still top of the league. Even City drew. So even if City win their game in hand, we're still a point clear. So it's in our hands. I'll still back us.
Keep it that way.
But yeah, the injuries really just do not help at all. So if our medical team and our players can just stop getting injured, that'd be very nice.
Couple of injections, get him back out there.
Yeah.
The fact Salah came out and played 60 minutes was remarkable. That was
huge,
that was like seeing Jesus.
He wasn't supposed to be back till maybe the cup final.
I thought he'd be cup final after that, but he came back.
I'm hoping Jota, even though it's maybe like 2 months and he'll feature towards the end of the season, I'm hoping it'll be like he'll get back in like a month and a bit.
And allowed
to be one of those like, with all the technology and like how much time's put in medical treatment these days. I'm kind of hoping that
put him in the Cairo, like like the ice containers and lock him up for 2 months and send him back out.
Even Jones is a big injury, but because he's been
massive
playing. While McAllister obviously had the injury,
and it allows McAllister to push on a little bit at times as well.
AFCON, so a couple of the younger sort of players like Elliott and Gravenberch
give him a chance.
Up a bit. Gravenberch was good on the weekend. I'm glad he played well. But yeah, he's got to have faith in the back line. We've got.
Got the two big guns there.
Connor Bradley's
Trent disguise.
The good thing is, hopefully Trent comes back soon. So he can move into midfield if we've got low numbers there. So. Interesting
times.
Yeah.
Cup final. Let's do a prediction quickly. I'm going to go Liverpool. There's going to be goals. There's finally going to be goals. I'm going to go 3-1.
I mean, it's Liverpool-Chelsea. There's never goals.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool win. Yeah. With Chelsea to score first, but Liverpool to bang 3 in a row and blow it out of the water.
Yeah. Hopefully. That'd be very nice. I'll take that. I think it's going to be a tough game. A lot harder than the game at Anfield.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Because obviously Chelsea will love the way they played, the way they defended against City, and I think they'll use most of that against us to sit back and hit on the counter. But I still feel very confident with just our front three. I think whoever plays there, if it's Gakpo and Nunez and all these guys and Diaz, I think we'll just have a little bit too much for them. So I'm going to go 2-1, close 2-1. There's never goals
in ordinary time or extra time, because we know how these two teams play their football in these cup finals.
I mean, it'll be a early Monday morning here. I want it to kind of be wrapped up.
Go to bed. Get back on the horse.
No, I think just the normal 90. I think normal 90.
I think Liverpool got this time around. It's set up nicely.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Very.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Another great week. Good episode. Yeah.
Fingers crossed next week we have some more chaos going on in the Bundesliga or the Serie A.
Would be nice. Hopefully the Champions League games are good.
Yeah, we can review all the first legs.
Hopefully AC and Atlanta play.
And live up something, Maybe all our chat about Bologna will result in something happening as well in some other game. Watch them now go on a 4-game losing streak and fall apart.
About a crisis.
Yeah, crisis in Bologna.
So overrated.
Motto out. Anyway, that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. We're at current point. This is a Tuesday, by the way, so a bit early. But at current point, I think we're 398. So please,
get us to 400, and let's make this the 300.
Yeah, can we get to 300, please?
I think we won about 270 for
around that mark,
which is still good. I see what you guys are doing. Like
you guys are lacking
we got like 115 for the one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we got 280. I think right now for this one. Now it's time.
So
I see you're making us work for it. But
but come on, guys, can you help me out? Like, watch it early. So I'm sitting there and seeing it being like 7 out of 10, which is not good, by the way. And I'm like, oh, come on, please hit. And then Saturday morning hits and it's on like 200 views. So watch it a bit early, help me out. Anyway, with that being said, guys, 5 stars on Spotify, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Apple Podcasts, all those good stuff. Enjoy the weekend's football action. We'll see you again next Thursday. That being said, guys, have a great rest of your day. See you later.